Hey, good afternoon. One Voltard Forever here, and I want to get on here a little bit and talk about that Georgia-Kentucky game. It's a big game after all. It's pretty much for the East, barring a lot of upsets down the stretch. And my Vols are in the East and playing Charlotte today. But I want to talk about this Kentucky-Georgia game. In the end, I think Georgia's going to end up getting a win. But it wouldn't surprise me at all to see Kentucky go out and jump out early and stop the run when their defense is fresh. Now, what I think Georgia has to avoid is letting Fromm make the high percentage passes that don't pick up any yardage. They need to get that good matchup over the middle with their tight end. And, if Kentucky does hang around and win this game, it's going to all be on the coaching. Now, I do expect Uncle Lou to be really pissed at halftime today because I think Georgia's going to come out flat because the litter box is not a great environment to play a football game. And those Kentucky people, that doesn't seem to bother them. They're just waiting for basketball season to get started. So we all know how much emotion and environment plays into a football game. But I do think in the second half, depth will favor Georgia. And it is probably going to be close, though. It wouldn't surprise me at all to see it decided by a field goal. I'm predicting a score something like 23-20. And I think it's going to be a physical game, and that's what's so strange about this game and why I wanted to make a video about it was because, who often thinks about Georgia or Kentucky, who thinks about Kentucky being involved in a physical football game in November? But, after that Florida game when Kentucky beat them for the first time in forever, Stoops said after the game that, their offensive line takes pride in what they do. And I think that Kentucky offensive line against the Georgia defensive front is going to be an awesome matchup to watch, especially early in the game. I really do. I think Kentucky may have been looking past their last couple of opponents. I know they say they don't do it, but, everybody tells stories. Coaches especially. I think Kentucky's really going to be ready for this game. I think it's going to be a really, really good game, really physical game. And, of course, I'm going to be keeping my eye on the Vols. I'll be actually watching the Vols closer because I'm a Tennessee homer. It just is what it is. But I think that this Kentucky-Georgia game is potentially going to be really, really close and good, and I kind of expect Kentucky to jump out to an early lead. Now, maybe I'll be wrong, but I don't do a lot of predicting. I usually just talk about the Vols, but this is I think it's an intriguing game. And, this afternoon I got up. This afternoon I drove 700 miles yesterday. My house hunting didn't go well, but that's why you go look at them. I hope Nebraska comes back and beats Ohio State. And the Gus bus is a crispy critter now. But that's what I wanted to talk about today. Go Vols. And if you don't feel like watching Tennessee homecoming, watch that Georgia-Kentucky game.